Have you checked the children? You're a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes. That is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil, Laird.
Duell.
And Jaime and Fuego here.
And we are here to do another Patreon request. This one was a poll winner for one of the recent months. And this is 2015's The Invitation, which is still currently available on Netflix. And it's one that I've been meaning to get to for a while. I had never actually seen this one, and I'd heard so much about it that it's been in my queue, and I just never got around to it. I'm glad that it won the poll because, quite frankly, I was a big fan of this movie. My overall thoughts are, I'm not generally a fan of this kind of movie.
That's why I was surprised you liked it.
Yeah,
so much, actually.
but the way they approached it, it was a more your next approach to the cult style film, and I'm all about that. Like, give me the your next, give me No One Lives, give me the violent trespasser going against people in a house version of this movie, except in this case the violent trespassers were already inside the house.
Yes.
So I dug it.
The house.
Ultimately, I was quite a big fan of this film.
Okay.
Robert?
I definitely didn't. I'm not a fan of cult movies at all.
Yeah,
Ooh,
me neither.
spoiler.
generally.
Like, I'm,
Spoilers.
yeah, and again,
That is actually kind of a spoiler, I must admit.
It doesn't.
A little bit.
Kinda.
okay. Yeah, sorry.
4-year-old. It's a
It's
5-year-old
fine.
spoiler.
Yeah,
I already
I know,
said
I
it.
know.
Yeah,
so-
technically I'm
I-
blaming him. He's already said it.
I already said it.
But
So
technically, for lack of a better term, this type of movie, I'm
It's
not.
too late.
I'm not. Yeah, I know, right? I'm not that big of a fan of. Though, although like stylized and how it was shot, it was really impressive. Like the acting, I enjoyed and everything. Like even our characters, I've seen other things. Don't was it Prometheus and Upgrade is from our main character.
Yeah, Homeboy's great.
Yeah, but honestly, like I remember seeing the trailer. I know why I didn't care to watch this. Too slow of a burn for me personally. I could take it or leave it. Fuego.
Okay.
I love this movie, man. I think it's badass. I saw it right when it first came out, based on a lot of the hype that it was getting from fellow reviewers and stuff like that. Daily Dead, Bloody Disgusting, and bigger pubs like Variety and THR and so on. And Karen Kusama has gone on to. She has a big tentpole property that she's working on now. I forget what the hell it is. We were even doing some research beforehand, but I mean, as far as like self-contained, just brooding thriller, granted slow burn, and so I can understand why this film wouldn't be for everybody, but once the punch actually hits and you realize what is actually going on, that's where this movie is pretty effed up, if I'm going to be frank about it. So, yes, F for Frank, F for effed up, and yeah, man, I dig this flick. It's good. Very good.
See, honestly, no, like really with me, like on some of the points like you were saying, like when it gets there and whatnot,
It takes a while to
it
get there.
does take a while, but at the same
Not too long to me though. Like I'm usually keenly aware of something that's the pacing is off, where it's taking too long to get to the good stuff. I was engrossed enough in the story where it didn't really take
like
too long.
I enjoyed the story and everything like that. I think it was just because it was you could see what characters who is your antagonist and protagonist and things like that. Those characters I felt were a little too cut and dry.
That's a fair
okay,
criticism.
That is one of my biggest issues I think with this, and where that predictability of this type of story.
Well, look, when you're getting Twisty the Clown involved, you're gonna have problems.
And again, okay, and then when
You didn't realize?
Well, I mean, I was getting him confused with the guy from Anchorman, the sports dude,
Oh,
Whammy.
Whammy!
For whatever reason, I thought it was the same guy. Anyway,
No,
this
you're-
was Twisty the Clown.
He was also
Gerb's
from
Fuego.
the Drew Carey show too, wasn't he?
Was it?
Oh, I never watched the Drew Carey.
Yeah,
I mean, I
I don't
watched it
either.
early with him and Mimi versus
Yeah.
Mimi, but that was it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that was a good show.
I liked Ryan Stiles.
Yeah,
So, anyway,
yeah. But
sidetrack.
sidetrack. Yeah,
No, but I mean, rightfully so. Story, jump in. I mean,
Yeah,
since
yeah.
you had some kind of qualms with it a little bit,
Yeah, so-
based on predictability.
So basically, the overall story is an ex-husband of one of our ladies is invited back for a dinner party after a tragic accident befalls him and his former wife.
They're invited
And-
back a good amount of time
Years
later.
Yeah,
later.
2
years
years.
later.
2 years actually. It was about 2-3 years after.
With
and
his new
everything.
lady.
With his new lady and everything, and they basically meet up with all their old friends. She's newly remarried, and it starts basically he's realizing that things aren't exactly right around this house.
And this
Especially
is with faux Tom Hardy.
Yes.
This
Yeah.
Tom Hardy like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Although he's
yeah.
rocking the long hair and he's got the boots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same dude from Upgrade. If you guys are curious,
Yeah, exactly. And again, like he did great.
he was
in this movie.
tremendous.
Like he did great, and I'm not knocking. Like that's basically the quick overall in the story because a lot of it more so you are going to be on just straight spoilers.
We briefly mentioned it, but you
Yeah.
get that feeling right up
Yeah,
top.
exactly. But I'm saying like with a lot of it and everything, that's really you start getting actually into more of the story.
And yet, just to chime in real quick, though, that's why I feel like it held my interest and Cecil's interest, because really, like, you realized right off the bat, red flag, like, there's nefarious
don't get me
shizzle
wrong.
going
Like
on.
I definitely had an interest in the story aspect, and I wanted to know the background of the character and what happened to them and things like that, and just.
But like the host of the party and the fact that you're just like they're up to no good. There's
they're
a catch
complete
here, like,
bonkers, and you can just see it.
Oh.
Here's what I would say about it, like story-wise to me. It feels like, for those that haven't seen or heard of The Invitation, I'm guessing a lot of you may have seen or heard of Ready or Not. And it feels like the people that made Ready or Not watched this and watched You're Next, and were like, let's just put them together. And that's what this movie is. So if you like You're Next, and you liked Ready or Not, then essentially You're Next plus X equals Ready or Not. And X is The Invitation.
Just not XX. Don't get confused, guys.
No,
Sorry.
okay, yeah. Let's not dive into female-driven anthologies that are
Although Karen Kusama directed
She-
probably
one
the
of those
strong-
parts,
probably the-
really?
probably
She-
the strongest
she
segment.
directed-
Oh, was it the
It
sun?
was the third one.
Oh, okay.
The
Which
third
one was
one.
that?
The
That was
box.
where they were out camping and.
Was it? That was the box one, right? With the kid on the train.
Oh, that's right. That's right. The
the
it
one
was,
where it was insanity that was kind of spreading. Okay.
yeah.
I want to say
Was it that one?
I want to
Okay.
say it was that.
I didn't
was the one.
realize she made.
Ooh,
Okay,
yeah.
so that's a
I
weird
actually-
tie-in.
Yeah,
okay.
so
Yeah.
that, and she also directed Eon Flux, and like I said earlier, and everything
Oh,
like
no.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah,
one
the
with
same
Charlize-
one. Charlize Theron.
I
Yeah,
never saw it,
yeah.
but it looked kind of crappy.
Oh,
It
was
wasn't
terrible.
good.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. I'm
It
actually
was
pretty sure.
ultraviolet levels of bad.
I'm actually
about that
I'm
movie.
pretty
Even
sure
worse.
Kusama did the fourth and final segment you were mentioning.
The
with
son.
with the son.
Okay,
who was like
that's-
the Satan kid. And
yeah,
everything.
that was the
Because
best
the third
story for
one
sure.
Was the same woman who did the Brighton Rock film.
Oh,
something, and
okay.
Satan.
Body Up, Right and Rock.
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah, that's right.
Okay,
Anyway,
yeah, no,
we
the
have segue.
son. Okay, so Karen Kusama that directed this directed the best segment in XX.
Yeah.
That's good.
Surprise,
That's
surprise.
wow,
not
what
really.
an interesting tie-in.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, yeah, this story overall was a satisfying. For some reason, cultish movies are very annoying to me. I hated Midsommar. Well, I didn't hate it. I just wasn't a fan of Midsommar. I wasn't a
didn't like
fan
it
of
either.
the Burning Man one, the Nicolas Cage
Wicker
one,
Man.
Wicker Man.
The original Wicker
the
Man.
original
I
Wicker
wasn't
Man
a
is
fan. I
awesome.
wasn't a fan of the one
Even
that
that's
was
a slow
very
burn.
recent. What was that one that was very recent? Where it was about the cult leader with the huge glasses that might as well have been played by John Goodman, but it wasn't John Goodman.
Was it the one that
Oh.
was based on Drink the Kool-Aid?
Yeah,
dude?
yeah, that-
See
I hated that
See-
one.
Was it See No Evil?
No, not
Was
See
it,
No Evil. No, it was. But it was missing its third act, in my opinion. I really didn't like that movie. So
I'm
cult
drawing a blank
movies
on
just
it.
don't jive with me very much. But I really,
See No Evil's Kane.
I
What the
really
hell?
dug
Oh,
this
yeah,
one.
yeah, that one, yeah.
No.
Sacrament.
Sacrament. That's the
Yeah,
one. The
yeah,
Sacrament.
yeah. And that was
Wasn't
one-
a fan of that. But this is a different style of that kind of movie, and I actually really appreciated how this one approached it.
Okay, I will definitely agree with you on that. It is a different approach on the culture style movies and everything, but all in all, the same fucking ending. It doesn't matter.
I actually found the ending very satisfying.
Like,
personally.
no, it's the whole,
With
like,
the light, without
it's-
spoiling stuff, the red lights that are.
I don't know. It was just something about the whole like. The
Oh,
the
that was a
transcendent.
great
That
ending.
was
Okay,
creepy.
we'll get to that. That was definitely
And that doesn't spoil
interesting
anything.
and
Yeah.
everything, but because that goes back to the whole like it's like the whole community.
That was like, oh, this is
Right.
bigger than we thought.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're like up
I
in
love
the,
that though. I think
you're
that
up-
elevates.
That I can definitely agree with you on.
You're
that.
up in the Hollywood Hills. We are talking the richest and most
It's the
just
cult.
prominent people that you can think of.
It's a very look.
A lot of the characters are.
It's
written to
very
be kind of
Scientology
schmucky. It is.
analogistic.
Like,
You know what I mean?
But the whole transcendence
a little
of
bit.
pain bullshit.
Yeah.
Like no, like that's selfish. Like you're it's
Analogous. Sorry. I knew my word was wrong.
I'm like, wait,
I
what?
had to fix it.
Say
Sorry.
what?
Analogistic is not the word. It's analogous. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. My brain was like, "That's wrong. You need to figure out the
sorry.
right
Well, you
word."
just scrambled mine because I
I
don't remember where the hell I was
apologize,
going
Robert.
with
I
that.
apologize.
Oh, you're good. Let's actually get back on
Kinda
track.
Yes. Yeah. Probably
Let's
a good
get
idea.
back on track.
So
All
let's
right.
talk about the acting.
I actually
Acting.
just really want to chime in real quick,
Oh,
though.
boy,
That,
here we go.
No. Just,
I'm just kidding.
just the slightest bit what set this apart for me than being just your typical cult movie was the fact that it was a film about grief and mourning and just how people deal with that sort of intense pain. Because as he's going back through his former house and he's remembering stuff with his child and with his estranged former wife and everything. Those scenes were really powerful for me, man, and that is a good segue into acting because I feel like it's a tremendously acted film.
That also kind of too. That reminds me of what I was previously talking
I'm triggered.
Yeah, that's basically though where I'm talking about that selfishness though. It's because it's your pain, but you have to bring it to someone else because it's now your belief of transcendence and cleansing.
Okay, well that's relatable to the characters who are up to no good, I guess.
Yeah,
Right?
but that's the whole cult thing that I'm talking about. But that's even almost the same thing in most all cult movies. I
haven't watched a lot of cult
in
movies,
a
so,
sense,
yeah.
they all tie in with the same of it has to be a mass thing. Like it doesn't. I don't know.
Well,
that's
sometimes, but Midsommar was like
Just
an
like
annual.
killing a couple people.
Yeah,
No?
sorry. Okay.
was
Most
most,
cults.
okay,
Most cult
Fair enough.
movies.
Fair enough.
But anyways, let's get into the acting.
Yeah, the acting
yeah.
I was a fan of. I thought everyone did a great job, especially the main lead and his significant other. I thought they were both really good. Honestly, everyone was solid in this. I didn't have a weak apple in the bunch.
No, I would definitely agree, and even too, I can the husband's friend, the creepy bald guy, and everything. For even the few lines that he did have delivered in this, like when he told the story segment, like that
about his wife.
yeah,
and
that was
chilling
some
stuff.
dark stuff right there, and like, and again, it's just that blank slate face of how he delivered it. That I thought was pretty I don't necessarily like to say captivating, but in a sense it was just because of how it was delivered. You could he acted that pain and that loss so well.
That's fair.
Fuego?
Yeah, most def, man. Some of the side character friends I didn't think were developed quite as well, but they still acted it out pretty well. And the fact that they were like, oh, we haven't seen. It was like every character was like, we haven't seen each other in so long, and that was like the whole main theme of it. And boy, as much as we had talked about our lead and the strange guy who shows up about halfway through, I hated so much the new boy toy of the former wife. Like that guy.
I didn't like the wife.
Oh man,
I didn't like her either.
I actually didn't find her very attractive. She
No,
had these, like,
not
collagen
even. No.
lips going
Not even
down,
that,
man,
but it's
and
just
it
like her just. It's the bipolar pissiness and
also the fact that she had like the possession ship stuff, and she's like, "Oh, you haven't been showering or whatever." She's like touching his ears, and like,
it
his
got
new
really
girlfriend is, like
creepy.
looking at him and stuff. Yeah, it's anyway. Yeah. I
But
mean,
a good
top to
acting.
bottom, though. Yeah. Great acting. Everybody in. Especially in those tense sessions of mourning that I mentioned earlier, and also the tender moments of the before in the long ago that we see in the flashbacks. Those really hit hard, especially with their child who we know died in a terrible fashion. So,
Yeah, I mean, and effects-wise, the movie was shot and delivered beautifully, both visually and audibly. I mean, the sound mix was great, the score was appropriate, the shots were beautiful. All of that was quite top-notch for a movie that you may not have heard of, to be honest with you. So I recommend all of that. But effects-wise, it was good, too, because it was... While it was used fairly sparingly, when it was used, it was definitely effectively used. So.
Yeah, we didn't get a whole lot of like special effects per se and everything, but like what little blood stuff that we did get, it was definitely believable. It wasn't overly heavy-handed.
Yeah, and they definitely chose like a beautiful house in the hills to film
yeah.
this at. I mean,
Definitely.
and that's great lower budget filmmaking, right? It's like it's all pretty much condensed in one location for the predominance of it. Aside from early where they run over the coyote,
Yeah.
and the fact that Homie just goes there and he's like, I know what I gotta do.
Yeah, with
And
the
he
tire
takes like
iron.
40 swings.
Yeah, and
Like,
it was pretty messed up.
that's
And they
not
they're like,
humane
It
at
sets
all.
a certain tone for
we're
sure.
gonna break the ice at the dinner party
Yeah.
with saying he killed a coyote when we were
Yeah.
driving up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but
pretty
no,
rough.
honestly though, I think one of the shining things about like I think that really stuck out with the cinematography is how they used the lighting,
Okay.
especially with on the dinner scene when he had basically his freak out and shit like that scene with the between the sharp and the blur pan out and like that looked really cool.
That's true.
Like I definitely dug how they shot that scene.
Well, and
Definitely a good
also
point.
where you look at the end out at the
Uh-huh.
hills and the
Oh, yeah,
just,
yeah,
like,
they're pulling
little
back
red-
and just see
red lights
everything. You're just
everywhere
like,
illuminating.
okay.
Incredibly effective finale, as we already mentioned. But yeah,
Yeah.
I love the ending to this. So
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's, Fuego and I liked it a little bit more than Robert, but all in all, it's still
I'm
a
not
positive
saying
experience.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
saying I did not dislike this movie.
you still appreciate it.
Exactly. I appreciated a lot of this movie and everything. It's just I'm the cult part of it. That those type of things that'll throw me out.
That's fair.
But honestly, like if I don't know if they threw something else in that story, I think they would have got me a little bit more.
See, and I'm usually the same way, but I thought this one caught my attention, so
Yeah.
I thought it did a good job.
But again, with the acting and everything else aside, besides that one story aspect, this movie is definitely very solid.
All right, guys, I think that's as much as we can say about The Invitation. Thank you again to our patrons for voting this one as the winner for one of the recent months. We greatly appreciate you guys. If you want to become a patron, you can click the link in the description box and actually submit your vote on a monthly basis for the poll-requested review. Thank you guys very much for watching. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
Robert Duell.
And gracias, Jaime and Fuego here.
And remember, stay scared.